Today we're going to check out the JMGO PicoFlix Projector. This is a tiny little projector that is able to have a 4.5 battery life, but still very bright. A huge thank you to JMGO for sponsoring this video. Let's get started. So here it comes in this nice little packaging with a case, and then here on the front you can see that this is powered by Google TV, so it's going to have all of your favorite apps, and then it even works with Google Assistant. Up here at the top we can see it has Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video, and you can even cast from your phone right to this device. It has a 1080p full HD display, Dolby audio, 4.5 hours of battery life while you're watching movies. It has a 127-degree gimbal design, and then it has Flexi Smart Adaptive System with instant gimbal-like display correction, smart screen alignment, and smart eye protection. And here on the case you have a nice handle, and here we can open it up like that so it locks in, and there we go. So a little bit bigger than I thought it might be, but very portable, which is really great. Go ahead and take that off. And so looking at the projector here, you have your lens, and then it has some sensors here to be able to automatically align it to your wall. And then down here at the bottom, you have a 1/4-inch tripod mount, so you're able to mount this in many different ways. And then on the back here, you have an air vent. And over here on the right side, we have a speaker. Then there we have the power, we have a reset button, and a USB-C port. And then over here on the other side, again, another speaker, and then you have your HDMI, so you could easily plug in other things. And then you have a USB-A port for external storage. And then here you can see that this is able to adjust up and down just like that. So over here we have that gimbal design. And inside we also have a remote that has the top streaming apps there, input source, and like other Google TV remotes, you have your volume right there, home, and so on. And here we have a power cable that is going to be able to power it as well as charge up the PicoFlix projector. And here it does come with batteries and a quick start guide. And here it's showing how far away you need to be for the screen to be a certain size. So if you're 3.2 meters away, you're going to have a screen of 120 inches, or you could be 1 meter away and it's going to be about 40 inches. And then we're going to download the JMGO app to be able to use the multi-screen interaction. And we're going to head to a wall where we can get this set up. And here we just need to plug in the USB-C port to start charging it and power it on. And once it's charged up, I can unplug it and it will begin using the 4.5-hour battery that is built in. And now it is on, but I don't see the display. So all I need to do is rotate this down. And there it is. And here's what it looks like with the lights on during the day. Let's go ahead and turn those off to get this set up. And here we need to get it paired by holding down the back and the home button. It is now successful. So then we can go through and choose our language. There's a ton of different languages we can choose here. Then we're going to go through and set up our country. And now we have a few options. We can do set up Google TV, or we can do set up basic TV. So you're not getting all the different features with that. Google TV adds the movies and TVs, personalized recommendations, and so on. So we're going to go ahead and set that up. And then there's two ways to do this. You can either use your phone to scan the QR code, or you can type everything in. Much easier to just scan the QR code with your phone. And then we have Google Assistant built in, so we can hold down the Assistant button to ask it about shows, movies, music, and more. And then we allow to have it access to see all the different types of content available. And here we have voice match and personal results turned on. And that is pretty much it. Now we're going to go through and choose the different applications that we want to have installed. So I'm going to go through and choose things that we currently are watching on the TV. So there's these that are just kind of like the most popular, but then there are a ton more options available through the Play Store. And then you have the ambient mode where you can choose art gallery or even your Google Photos to show up on screen. So here I like to go through and choose a couple of those. And then here it's talking about turning on the microphone, which is to press and hold the button right there. And we are all done. And this is where we're going to scan the QR code to get the JMGO app. And now it's going to finish the setup. Now when I have the projector 2 meters away, this is a 6-foot 6-inch screen, or 78 inches long. And then here, if I adjust the PicoFlix projector, it does automatically focus, so it's staying sharp on screen. Once it's gone through the setup, we now have some options to get the most out of our Google TV. We can use Google Photos as screensaver. So you can have your account on here and then spouse or other people living in the household. And then you also have kids features that kind of locks them into just apps that they can use. So you can click on those to set those up. But right now we're just going to head to Google TV. And now we're on the home screen where here it's promoting different videos. We have our live section where you can go through and watch all kinds of different live videos. You have your apps here where you can search and you can download more apps, and then you can sign into your accounts to stream those, and then you have your library. So these are all the different things that we own and can watch at any time. So going over here, we have the option to search. We also have our settings. And so over in the settings down here, we have a bunch of options, but right here we have inputs. So if you want to go to whatever's plugged into your PicoFlix projector, you are able to do that. So here we are on HDMI 1. I can push it again, and then it's going to head back. And then that will also show up right here, but it's showing other recommended things that we may want to watch. We have our apps. We have continue watching of things in our library, news, other movies, and so on. So tons that we can do now that we have this set up. Let's go ahead, get it charged up, test it out. All right, I'm gonna move it into where we are typically using a projector here in the room. So first off, let's see how far away we are and what size of screen it's going to be. So here we are 13 feet, 10 inches away from the wall. Let's turn it on, check the size over there. And when turning on, you do need to press the button on the side to get it to turn on. And now that it's on, I can easily gimbal it up, and when I do that, it also automatically orients it to be flat on the wall, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna go over to this corner so I can see the distance of the screen. And so there it is, 13 foot 2 inches or 158 inches. So a little bit bigger than you typically want, but testing this out here has been awesome. All right, first let's jump into the JMGO app to see what else we can do with the settings here. All right, so here in the app, first we need to connect to our device. So we're going to search for the device. Here we have my devices. So we're going to tap there to then connect to our projector. All right, and there it has been connected. So now you have the option to do the remote. So with this remote, we can navigate to the left and right. So we just have the D-pad. So it's kind of like having the main remote right here, and we can select with the OK. You have volume controls down here in the bottom. You can go back. And then here you also have the option to focus, which is great in case it's just not lining up perfectly. Here you have the power option. You can go into the settings, you can go to menu, and you can go home as well. So it's great that you have all of those right here on the screen. And then you can also change it to gestures. So instead of the key press, you can come down here and choose gestures instead of pushing those buttons. So it's really nice. You have lots of options right there. Now, if we go back, we have the option to do that right here, remote or trackpad. And then here we have smart screen alignment. So this mode is to help you align it perfectly with your projector screen. I don't have the screen to be able to do that, but that's cool. It has that. Pretty simple app, but it's really nice that we have it here to be able to do all those things. Now you also have the option to go into the Google TV app, and here you can use the remote even if you have Android or iOS. So here you can see TVs nearby. Here we have the JMGO PicoFlix Projector. So we just need to type in our code and pair that. And now we have control of all of the features here. So we can go up, down, left, right, and all that stuff. Home, change the volume, use Google Assistant, power, back, and so on. So that's cool. And on Android here, up in the quick panel, I can even go over to my TV remote, and I have the option to quickly get to it there. Now this does support casting, so I can go to cast my screen, I can choose the projector, and then I can choose to cast my entire screen or a single app. This is only done with Android, and then I also have the option to cast videos or pictures from Google Photos and other cast supported devices. So here I like to show the kids some movies or whatever. I can then mirror my screen and do this very quickly, and it's nice that I didn't have to change screens or go to a different HDMI or anything like that. Now the PicoFlix projector has 450 ANSI lumens. That's how bright it is able to display up on the wall. Now here at night we have the lights off, but I do have a lamp on. We're still able to see it just fine. With the lamp off, it looks super sharp and crisp and clear, and we have very vibrant colors. Now if you needed to even use it during the day for like a PowerPoint presentation, you'll be able to do that just fine. Now, one of the things we've been trying to figure out is how we could really utilize what this can do, taking it on the go. And so I think it's time for an impromptu movie night. So all I needed to do was find the biggest wall that we had in the room, take down a few pictures, round up the family, and with the push of a button, we were ready to go, putting the projector on the wall. It instantly focused, it gimbaled, it did all the things, and we were ready to watch the movie. Then all we had to do was find something and open Netflix, and boom, we have Harold and the Purple Crayon, something we hadn't watched before, and we had such a fun time sitting by the fire. This was one of the funnest nights that we've had, even on a weeknight. The kids couldn't believe it, but we had a great time watching this, and I can just imagine being able to take this out camping if you just need a little movie before the kids fall asleep on the tent wall, or if you need just somewhere else. We're gonna go on a trip and we want to have a nice projector screen with us, so this is going to be perfect to take with us. And even if I forget the charging cord, I will be able to use the 4.5-hour battery life on it to keep it going and watch a few movies throughout the weekend. And when we're done watching our show, we can easily pack up the PicoFlix projector here in our case, very easily, just like that. And we can put the power cable as well as the remote right in here. And then we can lock it for safe portability. Now, one thing I saw is you have the option to use offline video. So all of these players right here, Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, are all gonna work great, but they do require an internet connection, even YouTube. But right here, they have built in the multimedia player. So with this, you are able to plug in a USB with files on it to view files. So let me plug in my USB right here. And as soon as I plugged that in, it gave me a warning that a mobile device has been connected. Do you want to open it up? But here we can just click on the player and you can view video, photos, music, and text. So let's go in and see if we have any videos on here, and everything is loading up just like a flash drive would. And let's see if we have a video here that we can play. And there you go, that loads up without any problem. Here on our video player, looks like we have the option to press the menu and we can adjust scaling, we have repeat, we can do different decodings, subtitle tracks. So pretty cool little player here. Let's skip forward a little bit. So there you go, that is able to work no problem. Let's see if we have any other files on here that we could view. So if we go back and let's say we want to view music, and I have my music folder here. Looks like I do have some different files, so I can go through, play those,
ladies and gentlemen,
and that is going to work just fine. So really cool that you have this app already installed, plug in something, and now we can unplug this and go anywhere and watch a movie. Before we do that, let's test a few other videos right in here and see what they look like. So down here, these are all kinds of apps that you can download for the Google TV, but that I've covered a lot in other videos. So what we're gonna do is I have this funny video. Oh, it's gone. All right, so here we can load up a YouTube, and looking at this, the quality is so good. We watched a video on this last night and I couldn't believe how bright and vibrant the screen was. Overall, very, very impressed compared to the other projector we were using. This is so good, very crisp, very nice quality. And so this is going to be great to be able to take anywhere and play movies for up to 4.5 hours with that battery life. Now, plenty of content here when we're at home streaming, lots of content with a USB drive. And here is the sound level. I've been very impressed with it, with those speakers that it has. So here we're only at 58%. So plenty loud, and if I even go up louder,
good question,
it still sounds nice and crisp. So it's great to have good volume on this as well.
Hey, you in there? I'm Pigtail. Cool.
And there you can see the picture quality looks very good, full 1080p, and very vibrant, crisp colors. So when we use the remote, I'm gonna go home here and it's gonna take me to the top, and I'm gonna go over to the settings. We have some unique settings here with the projector. So at the top, we have the option to change input. So if I have something plugged in with HDMI, I can go to that. Next, we have the sound options. So we can go from the standard sound profile, or we can change it to music, movie, or sports. Then here we have speakers on or off. So maybe we're using an external speaker or something, we could turn off the speakers. And then here we have the mix if we want stereo or surround. So that's really nice to have. Then we also have the option to go to picture. Now this is really cool. First, you have the option for light brightness. So right now it's at the most bright, which is very bright. Watching a show on this last night, it worked great. But if you do want to turn it down a little bit, it will change the brightness down. So the battery will last a little bit longer, or you have just maybe not so bright screen. Now you do also have the option for increased mode. This is going to achieve the maximum brightness. You have standard mode, which is going to do balanced brightness and battery life. So there you could see that the brightness turned down. And then here we have eco mode. So reduce brightness for maximum battery life. You can see how it even went down further. So let's go ahead and go back to the increased mode. And then here we have an option to turn on a blue light mode. So this is going to reduce the blue light for a more eye-friendly viewing. And then here we also have auto brightness. So this is great. It's gonna adjust the brightness based on the battery life. So as your battery gets lower, it's then going to turn down the screen. Now with that, right now we have the projector plugged in, but if I unplug the projector, there you can see it detected that the power has been disconnected, and it does begin to dim the battery life. We're at full battery life right now, so I actually don't think that did happen. So that's just light brightness. We also have a picture mode options. So here we can choose vivid or standard, movie, office, user, or outdoor. So it's nice that you have tons of color options here. Usually with projectors, you have like a whole separate menu to do this, but it's great. It's all built within the Google TV interface. So let's go back to Vivid. Here you can turn on and off HDR. You do have 3D capabilities on here. So here we can have 3D mode. Right now it's set to off, but you can set it to left and right 3D. You have top and down 3D, and then you have Blu-ray 3D when connected to a compatible player, or you can do 3D left, right inversion. So if you are watching something in 3D, this does support that, which is really cool. And then you can reset to default. So I like that you have those extra settings that you don't typically see. And then this already has the update where you can see your Google Home panel. So right here I can tap save, and there you can see all of my different smart home devices that I've set to have be on this screen. So we can go through and quickly adjust things. So here we can see certain cameras will appear quickly. Here my front door is already locked. I can turn on and off lights, and so on. So you have a lot of options there right on the home panel. So it's cool that that's there. There is no way to make that like a quick action, though. It looks like you do have to go to settings to do that. If I hold down the home button, it takes me here, and then I can go to the home panel. So that's cool. Then we have the option to change accessibility. We can turn on Bluetooth and so on. Here we can see the charging. And so if we unplug it, let's see, it will go from charging to power interruption. So here it's going to adjust the brightness, or I can quickly go to the brightness settings there. Then here, if I go further into the settings, so then here if we go into the settings and we go down to system, under the power and energy, we then have the option to see the battery life. So there we're at 98%. We can choose the power on behavior. We have power and energy savings, more power settings, and then we also have a timer that we can adjust. So that's great. But in the settings here, we also have more things that we can do with a projector. So maybe you want to adjust the keystone further. You do have the options to automatically change these. So here we can change the manual, automatic, all of that. You have the option to do that. But again, I have been pretty happy with the automatic keystone correction on here as we adjust. So here we'll go automatic keystone correction, and that will then adjust it. There we go. So then here we can fine tune the focus. So sometimes I have noticed it's slightly out of focus, but then instantly it comes back where it's in full focus. If you wanted to fine tune it a little bit more, you could come in here to manual focus, and then you can adjust that to really lock it in exactly what you want it to be. And then here you do have focus settings with focus calibration and so on. But right now it's looking perfect. So here you have some image adjustments. You can do projector type. So if you're mounting it, you have the options to flip it any direction you need to so that it's appearing properly. Here we have the smart eye protection. So when you walk in front of this, it's automatically going to say, hey, you're in front of this. I'm going to turn off the screen to protect your eyes. So you can set that to a different level. I'm going to set that to low because it has been coming on very quickly. Next, we have this system acceleration that's most likely clears the cache to make everything kind of working a little more smoothly. Here we have one-click dust removal. Oh, so there it turns on the fan for 60 seconds to quickly clear the dust. And so here we can go to JMGO service where it's going to teach you more about what you can do. So I talked about how you can Chromecast. Here you can get the app. Here you have 3D vision if you have the 3D goggles. You can do the screen adjustment, and then you have more facts and troubleshooting, and you can contact with other issues. So tons of awesome settings in here, and then everything else that is typically available on Google TV. We've now been using the JMGO PicoFlix Projector for a few weeks now, and I'm very impressed with everything that it can do. I love that it has the latest version of the Google TV interface. I can do everything on here that I have done on other Google TV devices. The picture quality is outstanding. I'm impressed by how bright this is able to be. Even when it's on battery life, you get great brightness. And then how sharp and quick it is able to automatically adjust if I need to move it to a different room or a different place. It is able to do that so quick. I'm very impressed with the quality of the speakers on here. Other projectors I have at like 100%, I'm still not able to hear them well enough, but this, I kept it around like 30 to 40 and we were able to hear it just fine. And then I love how it has that 4.5 hour battery life where we're able to watch multiple movies on the go if we're not near a charger. And then a bonus, being able to plug in a USB drive and watch whatever movies I have on there is just so great to have. So if you have any further questions, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to pick one up, check out the link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.